man, this is pretty amazing.
So this is a rare find then?
Well, that's if it's real.
But what people forget at times is that they are a business. Sometimes you need to take advantage of those who don't know what they're doing. Allow me to show you some examples.
Hey, before we get into the video, be sure to enter our brand new giveaway. We'll be giving away any of these items. It's your choice. To enter the giveaway, leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, turn on notifications, and most importantly, watch the whole video. It's that simple.
8. No hustle here.
Give me $8.50.
Yeah. Can I keep my box?
No, man, the box is part of the deal.
And one of the biggest memes that has gone along with the show Pawn Stars is one of a person of great standing or with a valuable item showing up to the store and asking how much, and Rick saying, $20, and I'm taking a risk here. Yes, it's not a serious thing that Rick does all the time, but viewers understand what's going on with the Harrisons at times, and that they always scheme when they can. But sometimes a customer comes in and calls them out on their bluff, which is what we have here, which is why I'm starting it off on this list, to show that sometimes the scams don't work. A man came in with a baseball signed by legendary Major League Baseball player Joe DiMaggio. What's more, the ball was from 1951, which was DiMaggio's last year in baseball. Adding to the rarity of the piece, as well as the fact that the Yankees, who DiMaggio played for, won the World Series that year. So that's multiple levels of rarity, should it be real, of course. You have to be wary of such an item, for signatures are very easily forged in this day and age. But in this rare case, and the Pawn Stars have been scammed before in this regard, the item was legitimate, as an expert of the Pawn Stars compared it to other legitimate signatures. This is where the hustle came in. The expert noted that the value of the ball was subjective, so the old man offered only $800 for the piece, where the customers wanted $3,000. Haggling was done, but it didn't work out, so no deal was made, which shows that the customers know when they're being hustled and where they can do better. 6. Slicing the price.
A guy brought in a signed Japanese katana. It's a great looking sword, but his paperwork is pretty thin. So Mike's here to give it a once-over and tell us more about it.
What makes Pawn Stars special is that there's a great dynamic between the Harrisons, the old man, Rick and Corey, and it often leads to some great moments in one form or another. For Corey, he's always on a quest to prove that he's just as good as his father and the old man. So in Season 7, he decided to prove that he was a master in the art of the deal, and decided to get a really good price on a customer who brought in a 15th century samurai sword from Japan, which are rare and can be quite valuable if in good shape. The customer in question was actually a lawyer, one who got the sword from a client of his as collateral. But when the customer didn't come back to claim it for one reason or another, the lawyer decided he might as well sell the item and get a little money off of it. Corey could tell that the lawyer didn't know how much the sword was worth, so despite its clear value, he offered him $800 for it. The lawyer didn't bite at first. Instead, he did some haggling and got a somewhat good price for the sword at $1,500. But little did he know that not long after, the appraiser would put the value upwards of $6,000. And if Corey allowed it to be restored for a $3,000 fee, it could be worth up to $15,000. That's incredible, and it proved that Corey knew what he was doing, and, like his father and grandfather, knew how to take advantage of a situation. 5. Scheming a thief. For the Pawn Stars, a constant threat to their business is someone coming in and not telling the full truth about something, as they could lose more than just their money as a bad deal goes down. But in one ironic case, they actually did something bad, and yet didn't break the law in a way that cost them money. Confused? Don't worry, we'll make sense of it in the end. A woman came into the shop like any other day and showed the guys that she had a large assortment of gold coins. Gold currency is one of the few surefire items that can be sold for a quick profit. So after some back and forth haggling, the coins were bought for $12,000, a very nice sum of cash, and a quick payday for the Pawn Stars. But there was one significant problem. The coins weren't hers. She had actually stolen the entire collection from her uncle, and when he found out what she did, he tried to get the coins back from the Pawn Stars, which was another problem because they didn't have the coins anymore. They melted a majority of them and sold them for much more than the $12,000 they spent. How's that possible? Simple. They didn't tell the woman the truth in full in regards to the value of the coin. Unbeknownst to her, her uncle had some pretty rare coins in that collection, including some buffalo gold pieces. So when you add up the value of it all, the collection was worth $50,000. And because the guys melted and sold the coins before the uncle came to collect, they weren't legally obligated to compensate him for his lost property because they technically didn't do anything wrong. Oh, and if you're curious about the niece, she was eventually charged with robbery and selling stolen items and sent to prison. 4. Put up your dukes.
We sell old books. It's part of our job. It's part of our business.
Celebrity items can be a big get at pawn shops. The problem is that 8 out of 10 of them are fake, and it's meant to be a scam to the person buying them, which has happened to the Pawn Stars in the past. However, a few times they're real. And in season 4, a man came to the old man and offered him a book on alchemy. Why was that so special? Well, this book was said to be owned by the one and only Sir Isaac Newton, one of the men who helped define the forces that govern our world, such as gravity, orbits, and the 3 laws of motion. Despite his fame, Sir Isaac Newton was known to be a little bit odd, including drinking mercury and dabbling in the dark arts. But there were rumors that he also dabbled in alchemy, and this book appeared to be proof, as well as being from his own personal collection of titles, of which there are precious few left. The old man felt confident in the book, but he wisely got an expert to come in and look it over, and he confirmed that it was Newton's. Here's where the scam comes in. The expert appraised the book at $20,000, but the old man started the negotiations at $5,000. That's a steep drop, and the guy honestly should have gotten the book and left. Instead, he haggled and got the selling price to $7,000, which means if the Pawn Stars got the expert's price, they got a $13,000 profit, and it likely could have been more than that if the buyer was right. Because there are some who would love to get a piece of something from a scientist like Newton. 3. An offer she refused.
I have a script of The Godfather.
Okay.
It came with a picture of The Godfather.
Here's another interesting tale of a customer who knew better than to trust the Pawn Stars when the offer seemed too low. In season 4, a woman named Diane entered the store and offered up a bound script for The Godfather, one of the most beloved movies of all time. Now, despite the fame of the film, the script itself isn't worth too much on its own. However, there were signatures on the script, and one of them read Al. Well, a famous actor in the movie was none other than Al Pacino, and this sent Rick into a near frenzy, but he knew better than to trust his gut alone, so he called in an expert. This expert confirmed that the signature was from Al Pacino, but Rick went into hard sell mode and offered her at max $500. Since Diane was trying to get around $10,000 for it for a charity, she refused and took the book away. Ironically, she did a charity auction for the book and noted the expert's documentation that this was Al Pacino's signature and thus got the book sold for $12,000. But after hearing about the book on Pawn Stars, the producer of the film came forward and noted a key fact about the book. His name was Al, and it was he who signed the book. Whoops! Still, she got the money and she didn't get scammed, so that was most definitely an offer she could refuse. 2. Starting with a bang.
A cannon. What can you tell me about this thing?
The Pawn Stars have had a very long time on TV with their show, but it's important to remember that they actually began the pawn shop years before they ever aired on History Channel, and thus their scam game was already on point. This was proven in the pilot of the series, when a customer came in with an 1890 Hotchkiss 2-pound cannon. Not only was the cannon used in a historical battle, in this case, San Juan Hill, it was in great condition and was still functional, something that usually wouldn't happen with an item that old. It was proven authentic by 2 different experts, and so negotiations began. Despite the expert saying it was worth $40,000, Rick got the guy to settle for $30,000. Many consider this the first scam on the Pawn Stars series, not just because of the $10,000 cut down in price, but also because the cannon was likely worth more than both Rick and the expert were letting on. We'll never truly know, but we do know that this was but the first of many scams to come for the Harrisons. 1. A regular scam.
What have we got this time?
Okay, this time I have brought for you the most incomplete book.
Repeat customers are common for most businesses, even in the pawn shop business. Sure enough, the Pawn Stars have many of those, but one of their most popular ones is a guy named Adam. Adam has brought in many items, and you'd think by now he'd know when the crew was not giving him the best price. Clearly, not as you're about to see in the season 14 episode, O Holy Pawn, Adam brought in a page of the Gutenberg Bible, which is one of the oldest versions of the Bible in the West, as the Gutenberg press was made in Germany back in 1440, and only 49 of them exist in the world today. So even a piece of the Bible from that time period is very valuable due to its historic importance and its rarity. Rick had to be sure about the page despite it looking like the real thing. But when his expert confirmed this to be a real page from the Gutenberg Bible, the race was on to find a good price for the item. Adam wanted $65,000 for the page, but Rick shot that down and suggested $40,000. The two went back and forth and eventually settled on $47,000. While that is still a lot of money for a single page of a Bible, the expert Rick brought in said right in front of Adam that the page was valued at around $80,000. So he only took over a little half of what the page was actually worth. I guess in business deals, nothing is holy and sacred. Thanks for watching the video. What did you think of these scams the Pawn Stars pulled off?